Hey there, everybody. Professor Cloud here with a new Professor Build series. Now, this one is going to be focused on the game Planet Zoo. I have always wanted to do a Professor Build series for Planet Zoo. However, Planet Zoo, like all of Frontier Development's simulation and strategy games, are very deep. They have a lot of great mechanics and capabilities in order for you to really be detailed when you either strategize your way through one of their games or, in this case, build out a zoo, build out a roller coaster park, things like that. Planet Zoo has a lot of capabilities for building a zoo all around the world, building zoos with animals from all around the world, all kinds of different vendors that you can put in place. It's extremely deep. So before I try and fumble my way through the building of a zoo from scratch, I thought, you know what? Let's go through the campaign. Now, Planet Zoo doesn't have a campaign like a lot of other simulation games do, where they will handhold you through and want you to go through a series of steps to help build you up. Instead, what they do is they give you scenarios, and in each scenario, you're going to learn different facets of building out your zoo. And each one of them take place in a different type of zoo based on the types of animals that you're going to be working with. So that's what I'm going to go through in this first set of videos. I'm going to record all of the campaign scenarios, or the career scenarios as they call them, and then I will start to do a fresh build series where Professor builds a zoo. And I hope to do quite a few different zoos. One of the things that's great about Planet Zoo is that you can build zoos with all kinds of animals from all around the world, but you can't necessarily put every single animal in every single zoo. So that's going to allow for a lot of different permutations, hopefully. So let's go ahead and jump into our first career scenario called the Goodwin house. Okay, so here we are in the career scenarios. Now, it does look like there are 60 of them and 36 timed ones. We're not going to be doing any of the timed ones, and I'm not necessarily going to do all 60 of the career ones. What we will do is all of the main ones, so down here to the last leg, and then we'll make decisions based off of which zoo we're going to do, because you can see that there are different career scenarios based off of the different DLC packs, and they are tied to specific animal types and specific locations where you're going to be building your zoo. And I don't know what my first zoo is going to be yet. So hopefully we will learn what my first zoo will be as you will see. I have done the first scenario completely. I did it on stream a couple of years ago, but it's been quite some time. So I wanted to refresh my memory of all of the mechanics. So we're going to start right from the very beginning. We're going to do Goodwin House, and then we'll move on to the Madagascan Simian Conservation Project. Try saying that 5 times fast. And we will stick with medium level difficulty. In medium difficulty, you can expect animals never get bored of enrichment items. Guests won't request refunds, and 5-star guest happiness rating requires an average happiness of 85%. So, let's start. I am going to make sure to keep the music on in the background. Planet Zoo has a phenomenal soundtrack, which I did purchase and have listened to numerous times. I highly recommend it if you're interested.
Ah, heyo at Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay, so we need to locate according to the Bronze Star, we need to locate the grizzly bear habitat, enter the grizzly bear animal camera, locate the West African lion habitat, and then locate the empty habitat. So, I'm going to assume, like most games, scroll bar, or mouse wheel, zooms in and out.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Okay, there we go.
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Okay.
See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
Okay. Cool. Very
Okay,
good.
when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
That is just so well done. So well done. Okay, so here's the... let's see. There we... oh, it actually... God, I've never played a game like this before. It actually limits your ability to zoom in and out based on where your camera is on the map. So I was inside the cave. It wouldn't allow me to zoom out above the cave because it felt like it's basically, it's acting as if you are the camera. That is very cool. All right, let me turn off the item for Zachary. All right, there's the lions, it looks like. Okay.
Panthera leo leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
So we actually, the lions, by the way, are down here inside. Yeah, there we go. There's Amina. Yeah, they're both in there resting. Okay, locate the empty habitat. Has she marked it? There it is. Okay.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Okay, right down here in the bottom left. Got it.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works.
Okay.
The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants. When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
Send to zoo. I don't know why it's closing. I don't like that. Really wish it wouldn't do that.
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat.
That was the piece that I
I've marked
missed.
the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
I didn't click on the habitat to tell it where to send to the zoo, so it just kept bouncing back, and I didn't realize that. All right, let me close Amina down. Where are we going? Trade center. Here we go.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Food trough, small. Okay. We'll put it... I don't want to put it too close to the where they're supposed to sleep. Let's put it there. And then water bowl, we'll put right next door.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Okay, so habitat, mud bath.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a fair old state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Alright, so let's close down that. Over near... Aha! Got it.
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner.
Okay.
That's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay. What, put it here, I suppose? Or put it over here? I think we put it here. You mean it's out? Oh, okay.
Right.
There we go.
Let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Okay. Not necessarily sure I like the camera moving
Remember,
along with it.
Before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I need to see what I'm doing here. No, hold on. Okay, glass.
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Okay.
Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh? By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
4. Okay, so there's that. And then we have all 4 storage. Send to zoo.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Alright. Let's see. We'll put the bowl there. We'll put the feeder right next to it. Oh, there's a little train that runs on the outside. That's kind of cool. Oh, that was a food bowl. Oh. Hold a minute. What am I supposed to be doing here? Add the feeding station. Add food enrichment. And add the water. Oh, okay. Do I have the ability to... No. No, that's not what I want. Let's undo. I want to rotate it. I don't see though how I can do that. So, all right, we'll put the water station there.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
We got two different versions, one that's brick-based and one that's not. Seeing as pretty much everything is brick, I
You'll
think go
need
with the
to
brick
rotate
version.
the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
Okay, so shift is raising and lowering. Rotating is Z. Okay. I don't want it 90 degrees. This says Z plus left and right, and yet that's not what actually worked. Standard Z is it will rotate at 90 degrees, and I am seeing that. But what I want it's not. Yeah, I don't understand. It says here Z plus. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, they want you to do it with the mouse. There was the reason why I was confused. Okay. All right.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear.
In other words, don't put it
Something
near
that
the
all
glass.
facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we? Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off. Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
It said to... Oh, heat maps. There it is. Bottom left. That's what I was missing. And then power is blue is yay, red is no. And then we can actually switch up here at the top based on different things that we're looking for. As I said, very detailed. Okay. We got to find this plot of land. There it is.
Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So, go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier.
Yeah, and then...
and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
Trying to figure out... So we've got... facility buildings right nearby. We shouldn't have to worry about that. But that then says we should put the glass over here. Okay, let's do glass. And in fact, you know what? Let's do this. Okay, and then we'll want concrete along this wall. Oh, this is nice. I'm actually able to maneuver the camera while I'm placing things. Alright, now I need the habitat gate. I'm going to put the habitat gate right there.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool.
Whoa! Okay, that wasn't what I wanted. Clicking. Oh. Okay, that's cool.
Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters.
Oop, too high. Here we go. 3.72. Oh, the man, they want me to do they want me to do it exactly 3.7. Except for I can't. They won't let me. It immediately goes from 3.71 to 3.69. I wonder if there's a... Huh. Yeah, it... Oh, we also have another problem in that...
Now that the
There we go.
habitat is in place, don't forget to put down a donation box near to your viewing areas. We need every dollar we can get. Especially as these tigers aren't exactly eating instant noodles for lunch. Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
Okay. Alright. And then we send them to the zoo.
Whilst
There we
our
go.
trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
Okay. Food tray large. Let's see. Put it right
This
there.
time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
Okay. Terrain. No. Water. Got it. Calm water, rough water. Wow. Select water, remove water. Okay, so calm water.
Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
Okay, frozen blood pumpkin. And a rubbing pad. Alright, let's put the rubbing pad... Okay, right there. And then the frozen blood pumpkin.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely, the bad weather. Although, given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on,
Well,
add
I'm
a shelter to
swimming.
their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
That's so cool. He's in there swimming. Or she, actually. I think that was Anne. Okay. So, shelter. Alright. First of all... Oh, I keep using the wrong thing. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, hold on. Let's, trying to get a suitable camera angle here. There we go. Cool.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Rightio, click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
Terrain setup is appropriate for this animal. I'm like, what now? Increase terrain welfare to 100%. Hydration. Animal is not thirsty. Yet the animal is showing is thirsty. It says that terrain is appropriate. Don't. Oh, open the terrain tab. Oh. Okay. Open the terrain tab.
Open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
Okay. Painting. And she said soil. Soil light or soil heavy. It doesn't really specify. Alright, that seems to be enough. But then they also want some long grass. Maybe do that over here. Hey, hold on a minute. Let me do this again. Okay, so they want soil. Oh, I need to reduce the amount of long grass. That's the problem. Down to about 55. No, down to about 50. There we go. And then grass short needs to be, I guess, higher.
Right then. All animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, Eurasia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want. You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
How do I
Let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've
buy
been
more?
told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Nature. Plants. Oh, they're not going to let me do it during... Okay, never mind. I thought they were going to actually want me to do the work, but I guess not. Okay. Locate the highlighted area. Let's see. There we go.
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing.
Okay.
Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese. Expand their social welfare, and we can get a bit more detail.
Social group.
Now, they've clearly got plenty of space, and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong.
Adult population. They need more.
As you can see, the peafowls need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls.
Okay.
Off you pop to the animal market then.
For some reason, anytime I hear someone from England say "off your pop," it always makes me chuckle. And I'm a big fan of British TV, so I get to hear it quite often. I always enjoy it. All right.
Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Here we go.
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
Oh, okay. Alright, so let's swap cave glass barrier, one-way glass. No, that's not what I want. I thought all I had to do was...
Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat.
Okay, temperature heat map.
As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can.
Okay.
Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
Okay. Alright, so add 3 coolers. Alright, let's put one there. Let's put one there to make sure to include the shelter. And then we'll put one over here.
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them.
Okay.
It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopard's terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Okay. Grass long. They need more of that. So let's do that too. Grass long. Got it. And the rock. We can't remove any of the soil. Oh no, I actually have to remove grass. Okay. So the little bars are where the thing should be at. Okay, that's... Okay, I was confused. Alright, so let's switch to snow.
Now then,
There we go.
all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section.
Okay. Okay, and then the animal section.
As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button.
Okay.
Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Alright, so we need to fix the turtles. Is there a way for me to jump to them? No, there it is. Okay, so the tortoises are missing enrichment, food enrichment, and toy enrichment. Food and water. Can we filter this? Feeding stations. Let's see. Arboreal, food bowl large, food cage, food trough. That's underwater, so I don't need to worry about that. Wish there was a way for me to know what kind of feeding station was right. And then toy. God, I got no idea what this kind of filter, feces, Aldabra giant tortoise. There we go. Hey, 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 now we're talking. Let me make sure then that I had the right food and water. I did not. Food trough medium. There we go. Do I have the ability to sell something? I haven't learned how to do that yet. Alright, and then toys. Herb scent maker. We'll put that in here. Rubber duck. Put that in the water. Small ball. Sprinkler. Alright, so toy enrichment looks good. I don't understand the food problem. Food trough large. Okay, yeah, here we go. Demolish that. Okay, good. But this is... It doesn't have any food in it. There's why. Huh. Alright, then let me put another one. Insufficient food enrichment is being provided to cover all animals. Yeah, the problem... Food quality must be set on the habitat gate. Alright, where's the habitat gate? Right there. There it is. Food quality. Grade 3 food quality. Yeah, it's still showing is okay. And then there's animal is too cold. Alright, so we need heaters. Okay, so that's been fixed. I still don't understand why the food enrichment isn't working. Let me turn off the heat map, sorry. And it's because the food troughs aren't full. I don't understand how to get the food refilled. Set aside, call keeper, call mechanic. Here, enrichment. There's no... Well, the welfare is better for all of them, but it's still not great. Increase the average habitat species overall welfare to 90%. We're at 86. Oops, sorry. I've set the food quality, but there is no available food. I don't understand how to fix that. Is there a way... Calling the staff doesn't do me any good. Okay, so apparently, I did a quick search. Even though this is showing as 0, because the animal itself is not hungry, it's not actually an issue. So there's a bug somewhere in the game that says that this is good enough. So, alright, we're good enough on the tortoises. The zebras and giraffes are having issues, so let's go there. And again, they're having enrichment issues, food enrichment, toy enrichment. Alright, so again, let's go here, let's swap the filter. And, hold on a minute, what kind? We're looking at plains zebras. Okay, plain zebras. And we want toy enrichment. We'll start there. Rubbing pillar, that looks good. Hanging grazer feeder. Okay, so that fills the toy enrichment. And then food enrichment is only partially available for all animals. Enrichment, here we go. Where's the... Alright, so let's look at food. We'll put in food trough there. They've definitely got water. I don't need to worry about that. Interspecies bonus. Animal is benefiting from living with a diverse range of suitable species. Very nice. Food trough large. Okay, what about for the giraffe? Here, let's do this. Reticulated giraffe. Okay. Alright, they have food also. Food, cage, leaves, and branches. Yeah. So there shouldn't be a problem here. Food enrichment in habitat. Same exact thing as the tortoises that we had before. Alright, let's check the zoo to see if we fixed. The elephants are a little low. Yeah, okay, so let's check on the elephants. And they're also missing toys. African savanna elephants.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
Okay, well, that is going to do it for this.
Sounds like you got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a Foxy coffee. As strange as it seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. And maybe having a type of frog named after me.
So that's going to do it for this episode. The first episode of Professor Builds a Zoo. We've just cleared the Goodwin Zoo and fixed a whole bunch of things. Learned quite a bit. The next episode, we will continue down our career path, where we're going to be probably dealing with a lot of monkeys, based on the name of the zoo that we're going to be working with. So, as always, if you have been enjoying the content, please make sure to hit the like button, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you next time when Professor continues to build more zoos. Talk to you soon.